I don't know what it is, man. To be honest, again, I'm 16 days sober today, after a long stretch of 9 months, breaking shortly after, and then getting right back into the program, right back into sobriety, just thinking I could do it on my own, do all this shit on my own. But every time I realized that, because the mindset, the workouts, the hard work, being loving and outwardly, it all gives me benefit to myself and makes me happy to be that type of person. But eventually what happens is I feel I'm on an island alone, and my ego steps in, and I deserve, this and that, and this type of treatment and this type of results, and they're not there. And instead of relying on God and just keep doing the work, I rely on myself and saying I deserve a break. And my break is escaping through alcohol, escaping through anger, and the anger leads to the alcohol, which leads to more anger and deeper anger. And I'm very outwardly about it. I can't hide it when I'm blacked out. So people know this and see it, and maybe not people know it on this page, but I want to share it because the thing I was missing is community, and now that I'm 16 days sober, every Sunday I go to a meeting and I listen to a sermon, and what I got away from was, I have this page, which is I'm creating a community, and really I have a community there of guys that I could reach out to and respect. But there's also a thing that, this page is created where, if I get weak and break, I feel like I can't reach out or tell the truth or be outwardly about it, because people might look up to me or unfollow me or me, like the ego steps in and is embarrassed. And so when I step back and it's like I continue the program of giving it to God and praying and letting Him take over my life and just doing the next right thing and being that person I admire, that's all really well and good. And what needs to happen day in and day out to feel fulfilled and feel whole and be proud of yourself is what ultimately gives you the fulfillment you're looking for, is actually being proud of yourself. And what I missed is that the community, instead of just going back to when, days I wasn't proud of myself and eventually would break towards alcohol, which made me devastated again, which I've done plenty of times to have enough evidence of like, hey, what am I missing when this happens? And it's always the community. I step away from the meetings, I step away from the program because my ego gets in the way. I'm like, I work out, I work hard, I'm a good man, so I don't need all that stuff. I can handle it as long as I show up every day. But there's days where I don't want to show up, and yes, I still go get things done. But what I've been missing, and I figured out in these last 16 days, is the community and other people's stories, and not just my mentors of like do more, be more, this and that. It's like these normal people who in some areas, yes, I don't maybe respect because they're not wealthy or and that's not always money now, it's just that they are going through life and they're not in great shape, they're struggling, they're older, so it's really pulled me out of AA rooms, to be totally honest, because it's like, well, that's not what I want. I have my family, I have my job, I shouldn't have any of it though, so it's like a teeter-totter back and forth. And it's like, I always have to go back to dropping my ego, showing up to a meeting, hearing what these people say. If I get the nudge to share, I will. I don't share much because I've been so in and out of these rooms, in and out of jail, in and out of just, what a therapist would probably say is bipolar, but really it's alcoholic bipolarism, where when I do take a drink, I can't stop drinking. And then the whole anger, Jekyll and Hyde thing that I deal with comes out, where I'm just angry at the world. I'm angry at God. I'm angry at everybody else but myself. But really, ultimately what happens is after the night's over, the next day I deal with it, and I am angry at myself, and I'm angry at my past, and this whole depression that comes about because I'm just thinking about, what if this didn't happen, or I didn't do this, or I wasn't this way, or I just didn't have this issue. And it's all, again, me. And what works for really everybody is like giving, like you have to almost die. Like every day, every morning you put on the armor of God and say, whatever comes at me today, I won't drink. I'm still going to work out. I'm still going to be a good man to my people. And just living that way and actually following through with the actions that create that person. And it's just moment by moment throughout your day. You get a moment to choose, God or the devil, good or bad, positive or negative. And it just stacks up. And it's like, I was just once you start taking certain tools off the table, your workout, your reading, your mindset, your love, your God, your faith, your meetings, your community is what's got me just back into the community, because I need to be around people who want the same life. I can't be around normal people who don't have a problem with drinking. They don't do what I do. When they pick up, they can stop. They can, even though it's poison and there's really no reason for it, I'm not any better than anybody because when I don't drink, or because I choose not to, or I choose to work out, obviously these things will help and really improve your life. So it's like something important to take note of and probably experience, because, if you want a better life in any way, those are where you go first, is the gym, dropping the drinking, drugs, anger, and really finding faith and really living a godly way. That's the program, and everybody's the same. We just all have different habits. And, if you want a different outcome in life, or you're going through something, you're struggling, you deal with addiction like I do, you fall into negative mindsets, it's just you just always got to start the next day just giving it to God, praying. You got to get into the gym, to achieve a higher frequency. You got to give outwardly to others, give love, give peace, go get some money. So, work, be great at your job, just stay in line in the process of doing great at your job, doing great where your feet are at, wherever you're at, just being a good person, making yourself proud wherever your feet are at. These are the things that you do over time, which create a spiritual awakening to where you're like, oh, this is really for real. This is what God wants me to feel. So that's just what I want to share today. This is a part of my journey. Again, just being in and out of all these rooms, knowing at 21 years old, which I'm 31 years old now, that I needed to stop. And an old man told me that, I'd be back in probation. I went in and I was like, I'm not an alcoholic. And then they were all like, yeah, you are. I'm like, yeah, right. Whatever. I just got in trouble. I'm just here to make up my time. And then, shortly after, back drinking again, led me back in and out of jail, then 2 DUIs, then couldn't drive for 6 years. Finally got my license back now. Finally got a big hold of this thing. But 16 days ago, I could have lost everything. Children, wife. I put it all on Facebook. I mean, just really shitty stuff that's just not who I am when I'm sober. But when I'm drunk, I don't know what's going to happen or who I am. I am out of control, and I hate being out of control. No one wants to be out of control. And that's what this disease does. And yes, it can be based back to a discipline problem, because if I was truly have built that discipline that I thought I had, I wouldn't have picked up. I would have picked up the phone and called somebody, called another sober person. I would have hit a meeting. I would have just stepped back and talked to God and let him lead my next action to the right thing. But instead, I thought I deserved this. My ego just gets in the way. The devil just comes kicking the door down, and then I'm drinking and I'm blacked out until I pass out. And, yes, I get back to work and I make my amends and I work the program right away every time. But it used to be like, no, I'll just go drink again at noon, do the same thing, be an asshole, think I got it. Next day I'll figure it out. Later on in life I'll figure it out. So here I am, just wanting to be honest, bringing my problems, my addiction out into the light. Because Jesus and Christ and God is what I believe is the light. It doesn't matter who your God is, what you have faith in, but you have to have faith in something higher than yourself. And that can be in many forms, AA, God, Allah, I don't know. There's all these different things out there, but I think we are the same. We're supposed to be brothers and sisters. We're supposed to help each other. We all struggle with different things. And just bringing whatever you're struggling with out into the light and finding community of people that have conquered that same demon. that you need to conquer to feel whole, have them lean on him. God's conquered all. I mean, he died for everything that you can imagine that you think you're going through. He's already died for it, and died very harshly, but that's not enough, because it's not something tangible that you can believe in. There's a brother or sister that's dealt with what you've dealt with, and they can help you and pull you up towards that better life and be with you to make sure that you don't go back to your own devices. Because if I'm alone, like if my family's out of town, like there's a big chance that I would go drink because no one's around. But when my family's around, I don't have that problem. When I'm at a meeting, I don't have that problem. Does the thoughts cross my mind? Sure. I mean, like, moments come to where, like, man, oh, this is really nice. You get a craving, you just wish that you could do it normally and everything be okay if you decided to do it. But the reality is that's not what it is. I break out in handcuffs with my addiction and my allergy to this alcohol bullshit. So that's all I want to share today. Keep going. Don't pick up. Go find somebody. Hit me up in the DMs. Go to the link in the comments. Comment. I'll respond to everybody. My next thing is sticking around the community, showing up every day, weekly, daily, working my program like I know how to do, and I do. It just gives me that peace, it gives me that strength, and just praying throughout the day, just literally stepping out of myself and what I want and what I'm feeling, and seeing what I can do to help somebody else or do to make me feel better about what I'm doing. Because sitting on the couch, scrolling through TikTok, all this mindless stuff, it's not making you feel better about yourself. It's making you feel worse. You get stuck into comparisons. You get away from the tools that you're after, that you want for the life that you're living, this one life that you get. You got to keep working the stuff that's going to pull you forward and not push you back. So hit me up. Hope you have a great day. God bless.